Jonas, Jim wants to know, I'm about 5 years from retirement. Just want to know one thing. How do I turn my savings into a paycheck I can count on once I stop working?
Great question, Jim. You're looking for a reliable retirement paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts with get educated now on income investing. And what I mean by that is once you have probably, I call them four, you remember the three-legged retirement stool,
Yeah.
Doug? I have a four-legged retirement stool now when it comes to income investing.
Okay.
So you have to take into consideration taxes, market conditions, longevity and inflation, and the timing of Jim's Social Security and any pensions that he may have. We already talked about the 4% rule quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump down, and there's another strategy. You know how retired people, when they reach age 73 in their retirement accounts, Doug, they have to take their required distribution. There's a strategy that people actually take their distribution at any age that they retire, and that's a percentage that they can take out. That's a strategy. I like the strategy of asking people when I first go in and collect the data for their financial plan. I ask them this, Doug, have you ever received dividends from any companies before? And what do you do with your dividends?
Reinvest.
Yeah, I get that a lot. But sometimes people, and there's a couple of factories in town, and there's an avionics hub that we have in town that pay dividends. A lot of people are familiar with receiving dividends, and they either reinvest them or they get a little paycheck in the mail. Now it's deposited into their checking account. Jim, I like the strategy, if it's doable for you, 5 years when you retire, maybe we'll start, after we do a financial plan, maybe we'll start just taking your interest and dividends out initially. And what I've seen, Doug, the financially successful people in retirement, if they're not spending their interest and dividends, like Casey said in an earlier show, if they're just parking that, if we're paying the taxes and we're parking that in the bank account, then I know that they're living a financially successful retirement. I know that they're not having to pinch because they're actually saving money. If you're saving money in retirement, that's an A+ score for me.
It works. It definitely works. If you go to premieriwm.com, they have a lot of downloadable things there. Investor's Guide series. It includes 10 critical steps to take before retirement. And Jim, this is really something. You download this, get in touch with Jonas, one of the guys over here. Sit down, have a meeting with them, and walk through your financial plan. If you already have a financial plan, if you already have a wealth advisor, great. It doesn't hurt to kick the tires and get a second opinion, okay? That way you find out exactly maybe there's something you're missing that the folks over at Premier Investments and Wealth Management can help you find. But again, premieriwm.com, download the guide, 10 critical steps to take before retirement, or call 800-383-6590.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC. The opinions voiced in this show are for general information purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial or tax advisor prior to investing. Premier Investments in Wealth Management and LPL Financial do not provide specific individualized tax or legal advice. We suggest that you discuss your specific situation with a qualified tax or legal advisor. Rebalancing a portfolio may cause investors to incur tax liabilities and or transaction costs, and does not assure a profit or protect against loss. Economic forecasts set forth may not develop as predicted, and there can be no guarantee that strategies promoted will be successful. All performance referenced is historical and is not a guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and cannot be invested into directly. There is no assurance that the techniques and strategies discussed are suitable for all investors or will yield positive outcomes. The purchase of certain securities may be required to affect some of the strategies. Investing involves risks, including possible loss of principal. There is no guarantee that a diversified portfolio will enhance overall returns or outperform a non-diversified portfolio. Diversification does not protect against market target risk. Forbes' Best in State Wealth Management Teams ranking was developed by Shook Research and is based on in-person, virtual, and telephone due diligence meetings, and a ranking algorithm that includes a measure of each team's best practices, client retention, industry experience, review of compliance records, firm nominations, and quantitative criteria, including assets under management and revenue generated for their firm. Investment performance is not a criterion because client objectives and risk tolerances vary, and advisors rarely have audited performance reports. Shook's research and rankings provide opinions intended to help investors choose the right financial advisor and team, and are not indicative of future performance or representative of any one client's experience. Past performance is not an indication of future results. Neither Forbes nor Shook Research receive compensation in exchange for placement on the ranking. For more information, please see www.shookresearch.com. Shook is a registered trademark of Shook Research, LLC.